Hello everybody. Right, we'll just hold on, see if people can join us live. I'm going to be doing another challenge today. And I have prepped some work because it needed to dry, which I'll explain in a minute. Hello. Hi Lindsay. Thank you for joining. Just going to hold on a sec, see if we can get anyone else in. And then we'll get cracking. Wait till we get a few more. So I've done a little bit of prep. I've used my 3D gel. Hi Deb. So I've used my 3D gel here. I just grabbed a bunch of sticks from the garden. We've got quite a lot of trees by us. And I've begun by sticking these down with my Prima 3D gloss gel. I've tried to scrape off the excess that sort of squirted out the sides there. I was quite generous to get it down because it's a round shape, so a bit awkward, and then just kind of scraped off bits underneath with my palette knife. I left a few bits on the top because it just added a bit of extra texture. And then I thought it'd be nice while I'm waiting for this to dry anyway to do some stenciling with it. It does make a really good textured stenciling, the gel, and as I had time to let it dry anyway, I thought I would go ahead and do that. I've got a really textured bit there. It's not quite dry actually, that little bit. So yeah, we needed time for that to dry, so I prepared this. So what I'm doing today is the Art Daily Cafe mood board for May, which is witchery and magic, and dark green as a colour. So on the mood board, which I've shared in our events, and you can go and check it out on their page and enter your own piece. There was this like picture of a kind of trees all bent over in this dark greeny sort of mystically looking black with lots of green light coming through, and that really drew me. So I tried to kind of imitate that here. Oh, that's cool. White witch. That's good to hear. We don't need no black magic, please. So yeah, you can use some stuff from your garden. I've got some fake acorns as well, but you could grab some things like that, some leaves you could dry out, and you can protect them all with gel, so that would be nice. So what I need to do now is to knock back this colour and make it more suitable for adding more medium. So I'm going to start by giving everything a coat in black gesso. So I'm using Fabrique Deco. I also like to use Prima. Whatever you have is fine. We may need to give it 2 coats. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to go for quite a big brush because I've got a larger area to cover. Some of these brushes are starting to get a bit crispy. Okay, let's go for this one. And now this is dry. It's very hard, so I can be quite rough and not worry about it coming off or anything. So I'm covering the background as well, and I will be painting the twigs. And then we'll be able to add some colour on the top. So I'm using the black to create a sense of darkness. And then I'll be using my metallic paints and metallic effects, or heavy bodied matte mediums, to create the sense of light. Okay, so light coming through the dark. Hi Pauline. Just get down this edge. forget. It doesn't matter too much. I could always cover the edges with a bit of wax or something, but while I've remembered, let's go ahead and do that. So this is where you need to spend a little bit of time, a bit of patience to get all this covered. Okay, let's carry on. Probably use this pot. Ooh, throw it on my mat. Probably use this pot up, I was going to say. I'll just move my mat a little bit. I'm going to go on my desk. I think one coat on this section is going to be fine. I'm being quite heavy handed so that I can work it into the texture of the stenciling there. And I just did random stenciling. I didn't cover the whole background. I wanted it to be kind of more natural feeling. Oops, there we go, that's why I made them up. So this is going to, obviously it's darkening the surface, but it's also making everything matte, so that when we add more mediums, they will go on easier and not waste so much. The wood would take a lot of paint without the gesso, so it's going to save us a lot of paint and time because it'll go on smoother. So I'm just holding on to this one a little bit because it's a little bit wobbly still, as the gel takes a long time to dry 100%. Oh, I've got a big wet blob of gel there underneath where the heat gun didn't get. That's okay. I might need a smaller brush. Oh no, I've got it. I was going to say I might need a smaller brush to get underneath, but it just about reached. Okay, so I could have painted the canvas first. That would have been easier. I like to make things difficult for myself. So how are we all today? What have we been up to? It's starting to look quite windy out there now. It's quite warm today, but yeah, it's looking a bit blowy out there now. Have you been up to anything exciting? Making anything or cooking or anything like that? Or watching some programs? Reading a book? It's a great time to start a new book or finish a book. I'm just trying to be a bit gentler on that big twig. It's still a little bit wet, the gel on there. And this is going to create a really good 3D piece with all these twigs kind of poking out. Yeah, it's gone a bit blowy, hasn't it? I think the weather is meant to change. We're getting some northerly winds soon, so it's going to dip down a bit. I'm just going to hold on to that twig. Right, I'm going to get a smaller paintbrush in a minute just to get in between those branches. Stop me moving them about so much as well. Crafting videos, oh, it's addictive though, isn't it? How many did you watch? About 5 hours? So, oh, especially when I started getting into mixed media, trying to watch all the techniques and, you know, different materials and stuff. You just sit there forever We made a Sunday dinner, Mary. That sounds nice. We had a kind of Sunday, like a mini Sunday dinner yesterday. So we had some chicken to use up. Yeah, we had chicken, and what do we have? Carrots and Brussels sprouts and roast potatoes. Are we a lover or a hater of Brussels sprouts? We love them, but yeah, a lot of people hate them, don't they? Okay, that's got most of the areas. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush now so I can get into those little bits that are left. But that's, I wouldn't want to work the whole piece with this tiny brush. I'd be here till Christmas trying to coat the whole canvas in a tiny brush. Oh, exciting then. Yes, so lots of watching videos. Brilliant. Oh, you're going to enjoy it, Lindsay. I hope, anyway. Just remember there's no rules, and gesso is your friend. Because if you don't like it, you can cover it over. And it's just, yeah, so important to prep everything. Metals, resins, plastics. Gesso is so good to then allow you to paint or wax, whatever it is you want to do. Right, I think I'm going to dry now, and then I'll see if there's anywhere screaming out that I've missed. So let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Mary. Hi, Kathleen. Yeah, no rules. That's what I love. Making an Indian head mix media. Oh, that sounds nice. I just got some really gorgeous Indian themed rice papers. They're gorgeous. I love the colours of Indian art and like clothing. It's just so pretty, gold and bright colours, very happy colours. I think our culture in general can be so bland at times, like our clothes, the colours of our cars and buildings. It's a bit, isn't it, sometimes? A bit beige, if you know what I mean. All of it. So with gesso, oh, there's a big bit. It's important to pick the right gesso. So if I was going to be painting with flat colours, so I mean no mica, no metallics, just a flat paint, it'd be no good me using black gesso because you wouldn't see the colours. They would just sort of disappear against that black. But metallics work great on black. If you wanted a more subtle feel, then white would be good. If you've got something really decorative on the background that you don't want to cover, maybe you'd like to go with clear gesso. So I always sort of think, if in doubt, use clear gesso, because then you've sort of protected your background, your whatever it is you're trying to cover, without limiting yourself then to what you can do. Because you can always add black on after, when you know, okay, yeah, I'd like to add some metallics now. That's fine. But if you go for black and then you don't want to use metallics, it's not impossible to cover, but it just makes it harder for you. Okay, I think that's good enough. Put the lid back on there before I forget. Okay, oops. Right, now green. I thought we'd use some of this tissue paper. This is Thinner Bear tissue paper. I think it's called Musica. I might be totally wrong. So it's the one with the music notes on. This is a very small piece of the sheet. They are really big sheets. This is probably about a quarter of a sheet. I can't even get it all on the screen. But I thought it's a really nice green, so it would be good for this piece. To add some. And I thought it would look nice over the texture of that. So let's just tear a piece. Now you have to remember that there is a natural grain like any paper. So have I missed a bit? Oh, up here. Yeah, it's fine. I can cover that. That will be okay. So it will tear straight if you tear down, but when you're trying to tear across, you'll get these jaggedy edges. I would like it to be a bit not quite so neat. That made it even neater. So we could wet it. That would help. Okay, so that would be a nice piece. We can use these little bits too. Let's have a little bit more. Yeah, it's a lovely stencil. It's one of the Finnabair stencils. I'm actually washing it at the moment. I don't know if you can see. It's a very Art Nouveau style one. I've forgotten the name of it. I do apologise. I'm waiting to get some more in stock. I have got some in store. So our store is thompsonscraftsupplies.com if you are new to us, but yeah, I have got some on back order as well. So I'm going to stick this down. Now I wouldn't want to use the same gel as I've used before. That's very thick and sticky, so this would tear the tissue paper quite badly before we had a chance to stick it down. So I'm moving to a softer gel, a lighter gel. So this is the Fabrica one called Medium Acrylic Transparent. You may see it called Matte Medium, or Soft Gel is the Finnabair one. So what this is very light, but still very sticky. So it's great for decoupage, tissue papers, for papers. So if you're doing something like art journaling or covering a box with thin papers, that sort of thing, that's really great to use because it's quite thin. Okay, let's go there, and as we stick it down, we'll scrunch it up a bit more so we can get a bit more texture in there. And this is matte, so we can go over the top with it as well. Just helps to stick it down and then make it easier if we wanted to colour it or anything after. And I'm really going to try and work it into the stenciling so we can still see all that texture coming through. Not too hard, as I'm going to rip the paper. Okay, that looks good. We can lift it back up a bit, scrunch it up a bit. There we go. Another little bit. Okay. So it's just getting some base colour down, a bit more texture. And we're going to go in with some paints in a bit. I might add some more embellishments first, in case we want to colour those as well. Let's I love these tissue papers, and they're such great value because I think it's 6 sheets you get in one packet, and they are huge, as I say. I think they're bigger than A3 even, and yeah, they're just so beautiful. Hi Rini, I hope I said your name correct. Hello from the Netherlands, thank you for joining me. And they all have different kind of themes on them, all kind of vintagey though, as you'd expect with Finnabair. Slightly different colours or different things on them. Some have people on them. There's one with butterflies that you see in the stamps. It's called Flutter. There's a Romantica. It's got some people on. I think one's called Carter Postal. Okay, I think we're done with the tissue paper now. Last little bit there. Oh, it's sticking to me. That sticky finger. Okay, right, let's dry that. So this will go clear. We don't need to worry about the white look at the moment. It is a clear, transparent gel. And because we're working on black, it'll be easy to see when it's dry, because it will go black again. It shouldn't take too long to dry, as long as you're not too heavy-handed with it. It's quite a fast drying gel because it's quite thin, as opposed to the 3D or heavy gels, which take a lot longer, obviously because they're thick. Okay, and I won't worry about that for now because I've got some more bits to stick down. Right, so let's start thinking about some embellishments. So move these a second. So I've got a little pile of things here off to the side. Move them in a bit. So I've got like some leaves, I've got some acorns, I've got metal leaves, wooden leaves, a bit of texture, all sorts here. So let's start playing and see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to wipe my hand actually. I'm a little bit black. No, each pack is the same papers. They're not a mixed pack. Yeah, so, but they're pretty cheap, I think. So you could afford, I would expect, to get a few different packs, or maybe if you get together with a friend, you could split some packs, have a few sheets each. We've done that in the design team. Just sent people like one sheet instead of the whole pack, as you would be using that for a long time, I would expect. But they're great for covering things. I've got one, actually the paper I'm using today, I've covered an album with that. This is the music paper on here, on this album, and they look great on things like that. Okay, so I've got this bird house. This is from Hobbylicious. I was thinking we could tuck into the twigs maybe. I will get my 3D gel back for this because they're a bit bigger and heavier, so we need something a bit better to stick those down. And I'll get a palette knife. Just oops, I need that much. And you don't need to go right to the edge, you just kind of stick a bit in the middle. As you squash it down, it'll spread out. So we'll have this up hiding in the trees. Look, we've got some nesting birds. There we go. else have we got here? Let's see. I've got this pretty leaf. This is a Hobbylicious one. And I was thinking to have stuff kind of coming out of the branches. So let's see what we can do to make it sort of more realistic. That's what I was trying to go for. So just stick about that much on, not too much. We'll have that. And there we can wipe off the excess. It will dry clear, but it will obviously leave a texture. So it's up to you if you want to leave that on or not. Let's see what else. So here's some more. So I'm just kind of playing, seeing where things fit. Okay, what else? Some of these metal leaves, maybe. Can use that wipe to just get the excess off. Oops. They do bend those leaves so you can position them. Okay, I've got some chipboard and greyboard leaves. These are AB Studio ones from our shop. I'm really trying to give the image of a kind of real tree. That's the kind of look I'm trying to get. This is AB Studio as well. So they come in a big sheet. I'll show you in a minute. Different kinds of styles per pack. They come in sheets like this, A4 sheets. Oh yeah, I've got a deer somewhere. Where did I put him? A really nice deer. I did have, oh here he is. I thought he could be in the forest somewhere. Really like telling a little story with this piece, I think. I mean, he should be far away really, because he's quite small in comparison to the tree. But I'm gonna have him down here, I think. Kind of sticking behind the tree. Okay, what else? Different metal leaf. These are the Finnabair mechanical leaves. There's two types. So this is one type, and then you've got a spiky one. They are spiky, so do be careful. I have stabbed myself many a time on these leaves. Okay, it's starting to look quite good. Maybe we could have an acorn. I don't know actually. I'm not feeling that. No. Scrap that idea. Don't like that. Doesn't look right. Right. I've got this butterfly, but I think that maybe is too big. We'll think about that one later. Right, and I'm just going to stick some random cogs about, just for a bit more texture in the background. upside down, haven't I? I don't suppose it matters. Let's see some different size ones. And I have got something that's going to be the focal point, so I need to leave a space for that. Which I'll show you in a moment. How many cogs is that? I like odd numbers, so that is 4, so we'll go one more. Oops, up there. 1, 2 metal leaves. So let's have another. Let's have the little diddy metal leaf. Hello, Cleo. Not a problem. Come on in. Please close the door behind you. It's getting a bit chilly outside. Don't let the draft in. Okay. We've got 1 wooden leaf, so that's fine. I need another chipboard leaf. Okay, another little one here. You could have that poking out there. Right, so that's kind of our embellishments for the background. So I need to colour those again. Mostly the wooden ones, but because I want it to be dark, I will cover the whole lot. So a little bit more patience again. We need to cover. Yeah, I'm trying to go for crazy forest feel. Dark and mysterious. Where's my black paintbrush? Here we go. And I need to be a bit more careful now because this gel is fresh, so I don't want to pull it back off. I will cover my metals as well. That will allow me, if I want to put, say, wax or something on there, that will go on much easier. Hi Latifa. I'm going to be careful with the cogs because I try not to cover the tissue paper at this stage until I decide what I'm doing with it. Paint this little guy. Going to be careful with him as well because he's quite small. The antlers are quite delicate. Those leaves are beautiful, the metal ones, but sadly on this occasion the colour is not right, so I need to paint them. This one I'll be really careful with because this is bounced on here. So I'm just going to pat on, just get most of the area. Oh, there we go, look, it's moving. So you've got to be careful while things dry. You could dry it first, then cover it. That would be easier. What have I messed up here? Oh, that wasn't stuck down properly. Birdhouse. And that leaf. And I think that's it. There's usually something you miss. Oh, missed a bit of birdhouse. Have I missed? Oh, yeah, there's a leaf here. Anything else? Nope, I think that's it. Right, so we need to dry again now, and then we can start with the light and getting some colour going. This is going to be the bit that I will add last. I will very carefully pick it up. So I've cut out a photo which was actually taken in the forest. It's one of my very favourite pictures I've taken, and this is my brother and his daughter having a piggyback in the forest. And what I'm going to do is attach some wings just to give it this mystical look. So it will be like a winged figure. So that's going to be my focal point at the end. I will do the wings quickly though. Get that. Oh, ow. Oh dear. Just attacked it. Okay, I think it's okay. Just decided to punch my work, you know. Why not? Dangerous job this, isn't it? We do like to injure ourselves. I can't own a glue gun. I'm far too dangerous with those. I always burn myself. And I just don't like them. I really hate glue guns. I hate those little stringy bits you get. They just infuriate me. It's like if I have a hair on my skin. Ooh, just no. Makes me cross. So I'm just giving this a quick coat for later so that it's ready to use. Okay, right, so that's all my prep. I just need to dry again. Give my hands another clean as well. Are we? Oops, sorry. I made the camera shake. So I want to try and keep the illusion of darkness and light. So where kind of the branches for this part around it, I want to try and keep that quite dark, and it's more the tops that I'm going to highlight. And as we get further down to this corner, lighter perhaps, as if you're going into a forest or something. That's the idea. Let's see if it goes that way. Right, so far it's turning out how I imagined. I did a piece the other day and I'm just, you know when you have an idea in your head and it just doesn't turn out like that, and it's quite frustrating, isn't it? Right, so I think what I'll start with is powder. So this is Metallic Watercolour by 13 Arts in Emerald. So just pat the top to try and get the powder out of the lid. I will open it on my mat here. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is tap a little bit onto my mat. Let's see over here. And I'm going to spray that with some water, and then I will apply this to my canvas with a brush. So they're like powdered watercolours you just activate with water. They're very, very vibrant. That's what drew them to me. I was just looking for some restocks of my 13 Arts paper. And I thought, ooh, what are they? They look pretty. So look how vibrant they are. So I'm going to pay attention to the tops. I'm trying to keep those dark areas dark. So this is going to be quite subtle. And then we'll build up with paints a bit stronger. This should give a nice sort of shimmery feel. Oops, that was wet still, whatever that was. Let's see how that takes. Hi Marlene. This should hopefully give us a nice shimmer over the top. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. I don't know if that's picking up. It's got a nice greeny shimmer. Right, we're going to start building a bit more now. So let's go for a darker colour. So this is Prima Sparks in Night Shadow. This is my favourite colour of Sparks. Hi Isabella. So it's a bluey, greeny, blacky sort of colour. I have a paintbrush. I can see I'm going to end up using every paintbrush I own today. So this is going to be a bit more noticeable. This won't be as subtle because it's a paint, not a powder. You know, an acrylic paint, I mean. Not water-based. It is water-based, but you know what I mean. It's thicker. Oh, this is not stuck yet. Okay, maybe on our deer. And we'll go over him with wax as well. So hopefully you can see this is starting to come to life a bit now. So the metallics are working lovely on top of the black. And what I'll do, I think, is spray this with some water. Get it moving a little bit. Is that paintbrush? That one. Oops. I think I just splat that all over the wall. That's okay, I'll worry about that after. Okay. Right, that's very bluey, so we want some more green now. So we'll move that one out of the way. Let's go for Sparks again in Fairy Wings. This is one of my favourites. It's a golden green. Thanks, Pauline. Okay, so we can give a bit more of a highlight with this colour. This should make it really dazzle now. So if we try to go on the very tops here with this one. So that our underlayers are darker. nice. We're going to leave those ones because they're underneath. Maybe a bit onto this little deer though. Bit more on here. Right, I think that's quite nice. Right, what do we want now? Okay, maybe in the dark bits, but to have a bit of sparkle. So this is again Sparks in Raven Black. So it's black with a kind of silver sparkle. We'll go into the dark areas. Just with this. So I'm running around the kind of underneath of the branches here. Now, this does dry quick-ish, so if you wanted to get it to move around, don't wait too long. Be careful of those twigs. Okay. Okay, right, now let's dry that. And then I think we'll start working on the main image. We're going to need some wording and we'll have a little play with waxes, I think. So let's get this a bit dry. Now I want the little wings and photo to be like the beacon of light in my picture, so I will put that more to this end where I said I want it to be like light, so that it's light shining into the forest, I guess. And you can pat off some of that water if it's a bit too much. Be careful not to burn yourself. And we need to work on this bit here as well. So let's work on this little section. So we want it to be lighter, so dark to light. So let's try some more powders. This one again, and maybe goldeny sort of colour. What's this one? Citrine, yeah, that's the yellowy. So what I'll do is, starting with the darkest colour, I will tip a little bit there. These are very pigmented. So that's Andalusite. I think I said that correct. So we'll start with the dark, then we'll have a bit of that emerald. And kind of go at a diagonal. Hope this works, my idea. And then into citrine, which is a yellowy green. So we'll have quite a bit down this bottom bit to lighten that. Right, and then our water. Let's see what happens. Ooh, let's grunge that bit up nice. That's a kind of browny colour. This emerald. Citrine. Okay. So carefully running this around. Okay, I think that looks quite good. Right, so let's dry that and see how that looks. Do a little bit more there. Get any little lumpy bits, you can just dab with a paintbrush just to get rid of that. It's just where the powder sits. Okay. Yeah, that actually worked really nice. So we've got light down in this corner now, into green, into brown, then into black, with our kind of highlights of the light shining onto the trees. So playing around with the ideas of lights really fun. You have to use your imagination a bit. Think how if this was real, where would light and dark sit? You can maybe try looking at photos, will help, like take a photo of something and see. So you know the underneath will be darker into the corners. Hi Ali. And yeah, it's really fun to do. Finnabear is the master of light and dark, and if you're a Patreon subscriber, actually she'll be doing a demo actually tomorrow on light and dark, so maybe that was in my head. So yeah, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you'll be able to catch that. I think she's going to be releasing a link to a private video for Patreon subscribers, so that'll be cool. She did do a class as well. I've forgotten the name of the place, but there's an online class. It was the first thing mixed media I made that I loved, really. That's about light and dark and using powders, actually similar to this, so mica powders, which is the same sort of idea, really. Look at those colours, they're so neon-y. Right, so now we're gonna... Oh, thanks, Sally. So we're gonna start thinking about this little piece. Now I really want this to shine. This is gonna be the focus. So I think we'll need to prop it up a bit. I really want it to glow, so we're gonna go for a goldy coloured wax, a metallic-y wax. Let's have a look. The bronze one would be nice. Brass, sorry, aged brass. So just take a little bit on my finger, not too much, you'll get clumps, and we're just gonna run this over the tops there. There you go, so nice metallic-y wings. And I think I'll put a bit of the green over the top there as well. I've got some more waxes on the way. Oops. Waxes are just fab, so another great way of playing with light and dark, and they look fab on black gesso. So that's the brass, and then I've got Lucky Emerald, which is one of the antique ones. It's a nice colour, so you can see the difference. These are bright, these have an under brown tone, so they give an aged look. So we'll just work a bit of that in there as well, not too much because I want to keep a light look. Okay, now we need something for them to sit on because we want this to be the focus. So we need it to stand out a bit more. So I always keep these scraps. I bang on about this all the time, but keep all the little bits off your chipboards and things. And they're great for using to build up your piece. So we cut, just thinking, needs to be quite thin so that it fits the photo. So what we'll do is we'll stick these here. Get my 3D gel again, being careful with my photo because my fingers are dirty. I don't want to make my photo all dirty. A palette knife. We're almost there now, folks. Just a little tap on the back. Now I need to decide where it's going to sit. Let's go. Let me have a look. Yeah. So there. I'm going to add another layer. And another layer. Okay, and then my wings are going to attach on here carefully. So blob on there. This is going to be a delicate operation because the photo is so small. In fact, that's too big, slightly too big. Take them off a sec. Get off my scissors. Glue on your scissors. Right, so let's see. Okay, it's just about gonna hold. And what I'll do is a decent bit of gel on the back of the photo. If I can pick it up. And there we go. Oh, I'm so glad it's turning out how I imagined. This is the vision I had. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you think of, oh, that'd be a really great idea, and then it looks terrible. That's okay. It's all part of playing, isn't it? Right, we need some words. Now, this was about kind of witchcraft and magic. I do have some of the Halloween chipboards somewhere. Which one did I put them in? The apothecary? No, that doesn't work. Let's see. Forsaken. Foreboding. No, that's a bit depressing. The witching hour. Well, I mean, the photo wasn't about that, so no, I'm not sure they work. Let's see, something about light and dark. Although he was spellbound works, because he is spellbound with his daughter. And a nice black background. Yeah, I like that. So that's going to be there. And I'm going to put some wax around the edge so that stands out a bit as well. I like how it looks like they're flying away. Their feet are off the ground. That's really cool. Oops, not that much. So I'm just running the same brass wax down the edge. Not that much, don't want that much. You were spellbound. Oh, I'm trying to wipe it off and I'm making it worse. So I'm using my dirty finger. There we go. That's better. And do we need anything else? Some touches of wax in other areas, perhaps. Oh, and I could put some leaves on my tree. I forgot about that. I've got the paper leaves as well. I really like this. I think this is going to be one of my favourite pieces, actually. Right, so wax in some other areas. I want to do this deer, definitely. Oh, pardon me. That was my body saying I'm ready to eat now. So I haven't eaten a lot today. Right, and on this cog. A little bit onto the tree. And the wax you can use to cover up anything as well, anything you've missed or you don't quite like. And also on this background, we created this lovely texture in the background. The wax will pick that back up and bring that back to the front. And you can use this around the edge as well. I think it needs to be around them like a little, like they're sending out the light from them. Oops. And just finishing touches now, really. See how that wax has brought everything to the front. Thanks, Pauline. Thank you for dropping in. And just to bring any little bits that disappeared, like that nice birdhouse, can bring that back to the front a little bit. Okay, and just those paper leaves I mentioned now, and I think that's it. Maybe some splatters. Get all this wax off my hand. Waxy. Right, paper flowers, paper leaves. There's another packet somewhere. Oh, here it is. So these are Prima. Thank you, Mary. Don't know. Oh, green. Oh, yeah. Ooh, oh, I like this piece. Gel. I'll do a bit onto my leaf. Oh, I like it. It's a real tree. I want to stick with the green, really, don't I? No, I didn't. I'm talking to myself. I do that a lot. Maybe one more for my magic 3. And I think just some splatters. Oh, they're flying away. And then we're done. Do I want splatters? Yeah, some goldy splatters. And I think I'd like to touch the gold just to highlight some areas. So I want a gold paint. This will do. What's this one? Oh, no problem, Claire. This is Deco Art Gold metallic multi-surface paint. Oh, that's a bit big. I don't want quite a little tiny paintbrush. So I'm just going to use this for some highlighting. So a bit like the wax, just applying a highlight with this gold. Just touches. Don't want to lose that dark we've created. That's what the whole piece is about. Okay, and maybe just around this frame a little bit, just to make it pop out a little bit more. Okay, that's it, folks. Oh, I was going to do some splatters, wasn't I? So a little bit onto my mat, a little bit of water, cover up my little angel. We don't want to splatter that. Mix them together. And splatty, splatty, splatty. Not too much. Don't want to ruin the dark. That's it. Done. So here we have my take on the Art Daily Cafe May challenge, which is witchery and magic, and to use dark green. Thank you. So I started off with these twigs with some 3D gel and the 3D gel stenciling. Covered that all in black gesso. We added some of the 13 Arts colour glows and into this area where we'd used the tissue paper as well. We added some metal embellishments, some chipboards, all sorts of things, MDFs, leaves, all sorts of ones from Hobbylicious and AB Studio. We created this little angel with the AB Studio and a cutout photo, little Tim Holtz chipboard wood, and we used some wax and gold paints to highlight, and finally stuck on some leaves which that'll dry clear to make our tree look really real. So thank you for joining me today. I actually really enjoyed that one. I really wasn't feeling in the mood when I started, but I really enjoyed that. So pardon me, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.